So, what inspired you and what vision did you have when creating HOBEC?
Because of language barrier, so I thought to myself that if we were all bilingual, we could navigate the whole nation easily, everybody, without having such difficulties. We ran the bilingual system, fashioned after what obtained in Manowobe, because the government started a bilingual school. It didn't last because teachers hanging around without jobs at the time, or some of them who were dissatisfied with where they were working. Because when I went to CAST, I had classmates who had been to Manowobe, where they did French and English simultaneously, all the subjects. So they had the brevet and they had the GCE O level before coming to CAST, and they were very fluent in both languages.
Tell me, what transformations have you brought to Horizon that will permit it to keep up with future learning?
Yeah, as an educationist, you cannot be stagnant. I mean, you go with the trends. Now, when I started, it was bilingualism that pushed me. It was discipline, it was respect, moral rectitude. But we've gone beyond that.
Please, would you mind sharing with us what do you think is the biggest mistake schools make nowadays in educating children?
More and more school owners or those who create schools use it for commercial purposes. They don't take the interest of the children at heart. They believe that it is an easy way of making.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to HOBEC's podcast. We have the privilege of speaking with a great educationist, someone whose vision has transformed students. First started with just 67 people in a small primary section opposite College Ibeman in Akwa. Today, that vision has grown into one of the most respected educational complexes. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Spongy Terry, founder of HOBEC. Good day, Mrs. Terry. I know we usually refer to you as Mommy Terry, but on occasion of these events, I will refer to you as Mommy Terry, as Mrs.
Soms.
Take us back to the 1990s. What inspired you and what vision did you have when creating HOBEC?
It's my pleasure to meet you, Favor Iboa, and I'm glad that you want to understand some of the motivation that I had in creating HOBEC. And I will say that the first thing that came to my mind when creating HOBEC was the difficulties I had when I was not the only one. Many of us who left CAST from the English-speaking region, we had that difficulty in compiling, making our papers to register for the then lone university in the country because of language barrier. So I thought to myself that if we were all bilingual, we could navigate the whole nation easily, everybody, without having such difficulties. And secondly, I taught for 16 years before I taught in the lycée. I even taught at one time at the University of Yaoundé as a part-time teacher. I taught there, and I taught in the grammar schools. And the degree of indiscipline was unthinkable because I grew up in a situation in schools where discipline was very, very important. Discipline, respect, love, and you were punished if you broke any of the rules. Not punished for being not abusive punishment, but you were called to order to live by the norms. Yeah.
Wow. I see you are really driven by a lot of personal experiences. Mm-hmm. At the time, could you ever imagine that Horizon would grow to having the thousands of students it has today? Please share with us what were your expectations.
In fact, naively, when I started, I just said I would end at the level of the primary school because that was my destination at the time. That was my target. But by the time the first students of the primary, the students of the primary school graduated, the parents insisted that they wanted a secondary school because they were satisfied with the kind of education we had given the children, that they wanted more. They wanted more of that, to their children to be molded in such a way that they can, go all over the world and maintain their dignity and integrity.
Wow, that's really interesting. I see, I understand. What values at the beginning, the creation of HOBEC, what values did you want HOBEC to represent?
An educational institution, a grammar school, because this is a grammar school, is a place where children are molded. We have so many dropouts, children who roam the streets, not knowing what to do because they missed out on the training that they should have received from parents. Yes, there are some unfortunate children who are born into situations which they cannot help. But those who are born in a functional situation, because we have the dysfunctional family and a family that is well knit, you still find them going astray. So why does that happen? So my aim was to mold the children in such a way that they will realize their responsibility as children, what will happen to them when they grow up, how they are going to take the baton from the parents to future generations. Yeah.
Indeed. So, Momitarian, every great institution begins with a vision. But bringing that vision to reality often comes along with great challenges.
Yeah.
Can you share with us the main challenges you encountered when creating HOBEC?
The beginning was fine. It was smooth, because I had a group of parents. That's when I say the beginning, up to the primary school level, it was beautiful. We had a group of parents who looked up to all the staff as, family. We were a family. I took the children to excursions. We went as far as Bamenda, Boya, Limbe. I carried the primary school children. Their parents trusted me so much so that they could give their children to me to take them on vacation. So as the school grew, we had more children, more parents. It became very, very challenging. Firstly, we had parents who, you have financial difficulties. I just thought I was teaching children, molding them to face the world. It didn't occur to me that it was an income generating activity where you had to abide by certain rules dictated by the state. You had to pay taxes, you had to pay your social insurance funds. So when the agents came and saw that I was ignorant of that and I had not complied, they were very hard on me, and we had to spend a lot of money correcting the situation. So that's one of the challenges. Secondly, there were parents who wanted to impose their own will on us. Some of them rejected uniforms. They said they had been abroad to buy clothes for their children, and they would like their children to come to school with the clothes they had bought for them. As the school grew, you had people from various backgrounds who did not see the vision the way we saw it. A parent will want you to, I am an educationist, and I believe in children going step by step. Some of them will come and tell me that their children are very intelligent and they'll want them to skip even 2 classes. So I had that problem of trying to educate the parents that in as much as a child may speak well at a tender age, it is not advisable to let the child skip classes because it will disturb the child in future. The brain has to match the level of learning that the child is having at the time. So those are some of the challenges I had.
Okay, Mrs. Story, I see you came across a lot of challenges. I would also like to ask, infrastructure in the school is critical. What were the early conditions of HOBEC before we led to the school's expansion?
As I say, at the time I started, we could rent premises. And so I rented a bungalow opposite Liberman. And we were fortunate to have some landlords who, even though there were times we had altercations, we had conflicts with them, they permitted us to improve on the infrastructure, on the building, to accommodate children up to class 6, So, but as time went on, it grew. The enrollment grew so big that we had to get a second location, which we got in still renting. And then, when the children left class 6 and had to go to college, we were forced now to buy a piece of land here in Bonendale, and that was my biggest challenge, because we had to build. Banks were not giving money, commercial banks were not giving money to schools. We were not the kind of businesses that they would fund, corporate businesses. So it was difficult raising money to build, raising money to pay staff. It was a very dark period. But since I was determined to do the college and to get to the level which I wanted to get, I pushed. And sometimes we had benefactors, people who came in to help us, and so we went on and got to where we are now.
Indeed, I understand the idea. Mrs. Terry, teachers are a very important part of a school. Recruiting teachers who share the same vision as you obviously wasn't easy. So please, how did you go about with staff recruitment?
Let me start with staff recruitment. At the time, there's so many teachers hanging around without jobs at the time, or some of them who were dissatisfied with where they were working. So when I sent out the advertisement that I needed teachers to work in Horizon, I had so far too many, and they were trained teachers. The ones I interviewed, especially for the primary school. It was for the secondary school that I didn't have trained teachers at the beginning, but I had teachers who had degrees in the subjects we were going to offer, and they were well grounded in the subjects that they had taken for their degree. So talking about teachers, that is how but the unfortunate thing is that teachers are very, very mobile. They don't stay, so you have to, especially in private schools, they come and go looking for greener pastures. There's nothing you can do about that.
Parents' trust is something essential for the growth of a school. How did you convince parents into trusting your school, which is an establishment which just started, which had just been opened?
At the beginning, as I say, it was a bilingual. We ran the bilingual system, fashioned after what obtained in Manowobe, because the government started a bilingual school. It didn't last, because when I went to CAST, I had classmates who had been to Manowobe, where they did French and English simultaneously, all the subjects. So they had the brevet and they had the GCE O level before coming to CAST, and they were very fluent in both languages. And so I copied that pattern. And that is when children went home and were able to speak fluently in English. It was good morning that they said in English and good morning in French. The parents were overjoyed, and word by word of mouth, the news spread, and so we grew very fast as a bilingual school. But when we got to the college, we tried it for the first few years and saw that it was very difficult to run. But they will still do it in the primary school, but we cannot continue in the secondary school because it is difficult to run.
Wow, that's really amazing. That despite all the challenges, HOBEC has continued to grow and to evolve. Tell me, what transformations have you brought to Horizon that will permit it to keep up with future learning?
Yeah, as an educationist, you cannot be stagnant. I mean, you go with the trends. Now, when I started, it was bilingualism that pushed me. It was discipline, it was respect, moral rectitude. But we've gone beyond that to, not that they are still not important, but we've gone beyond that to looking at technology. There's digitalization, that is the in thing now. There's technology as a whole, and we not only are we bringing that into our school, training our children to also be abreast with technology. We are also talking to them about we develop talents that they have. For example, when you train a child, it's not simply for the child to go sit down and wait for the government to offer them a job. If you do that, many children will be roaming the streets. If you discover, we try to identify talents in children, the children who come to us, and we try to promote those talents. It could be sewing. If, for example, you leave school and you don't have a job immediately, you can buy a machine. How much is a machine? How much does it cost? You can buy a machine and start sewing while waiting for something else. You can do when you do in technology, you can do cartooning. You can do, when you do with the cartoon is animation, and yes, you do that. People will want you, and you sell to different channels. They will buy, and you'll have some money. There is always something you can do. Pedicure, manicure. There are women who are always doing their hair, their nails. You open a small salon, beauty salon, and you find women coming there, and you cannot lack something to eat while waiting, instead of just sleeping, waking, and waiting for one good day when the government will recruit 1,500 of you and send to places where you cannot even begin to evolve, to progress.
That is true. So, Mrs. Terry, HOBEC is said to offer a holistic education. Mm-hmm. What does that mean in practice?
I think I just told you that a holistic education, we are not only interested in academics. We look at the whole person. And when you talk of the whole person, what do you mean? Morale, the moral values, that is it. Academics, you look at how does the person dress? You look at the talents that you develop in the person. You look at everything that child will need to face the world. It's not just because you can train a monster who has had who is an A student, grade A student, all through, who has never failed, who passes all his exams and all the like, but without good morals, who cannot dress well, who is disrespectful, who is not responsible, and what have you, who doesn't love, or who doesn't fear God. We are not a religious school, but at least we teach the fear of the Lord, So when we talk of holistic, that is what we mean. Every aspect of growth in a human being that will make the person fit into society without any problem, being appreciated by others. We take that into consideration.
I see. You indeed are right. I believe you are right. The school has also invested in a multimedia center, a robotics and a coding and robotics center, a computer lab, and many others. How do these various centers enhance the students' learning?
It all falls within technology, right? Like this multimedia center. The idea is we can receive lectures from out of the country. Our students can stay, we can invite a teacher who does not move from America, Canada, Britain, the UK to come here and teach. But they can teach our children using internet, and that is technology for you. And when with coding and robotics, is something which the children will need, like when they display what they do during the year, in the course of the year, you see that they can stand at a distance and open a door, a gate, or a dustbin. that is technology for you. You see, so that is why we are introducing all these things, and we'll introduce more just so that the children, when they are not ignorant, when they go out of the school, when they go to university, they know how to manipulate all these things, when even out of the country.
Wow, wow. This is truly fascinating. Share with us, in your view, what makes HOBEC's educational system unique compared to that of other schools?
I think it is this holistic form of education, because we are a grammar school, we are not a technical school, but we try to bring in some technical aspects of learning, some technology, just so that we don't rely wholly on the grammar school subject. We just train them, they go out and start fending for themselves and hustling, not being able to succeed. We try to train them in such a way that a good learner, somebody who is, because it also depends on the student. If the student is responsible, if the student is competent, or if the student wants to learn, the student will see what we are offering and capitalize on it.
Okay, when an institution reaches this level of growth and innovation, people begin to talk about legacy. What legacy do you hope or wish HOBEC leaves to the future generations?
To me, I've done a lot. I am fortunate to have children who believe in this project, and they will carry this legacy for it. It will always be a school. They can only add to it. Maybe they can increase it to include a university or a technical school or whatever. They can expand on it, but and I want to believe that children will always come here to the school and go back satisfied, and not go back roaming the streets and wondering why they ever went to Horizons.
Please, would you mind sharing with us what you think is the biggest mistake schools make nowadays in education children?
More and more school owners, or those who create schools, use it for commercial purposes. They don't take the interest of the children at heart. They believe that it is an easy way of making money, and so they create schools. They don't pay the teachers. They don't look at the future of the children. They don't, they go in for all the wrong reasons. I've just named it two, but there are many other reasons why. And then just to be called a founder, you've created a school, the environment is not conducive. I had to come right to Bonendale for a secondary school, because I knew that in a secondary school you will need a playground where the children enjoy playing football. The land is vast, and children they enjoy that flexibility to move around without bumping into each other, and that kind of thing. But people will just get a small room and start a school just because they want to. What I don't like about it now is that everybody is going into creating schools for financial reasons.
That is, I believe, with someone with great ambition like you, that really should. I believe I understand. Mrs. Terry Fonji, what qualities do you think a school leader or an educationist should have?
To me, like, I am a teacher by profession. I taught for 16 years before starting my own school. So I knew what I was looking out for. But there are people who are, first of all, not educated, have never been to school. They create schools. You find all kinds of, you should know what the profession is all about. And if you know what the profession is about, you will know what the children need. And so you give the children what they need. If you don't know what teaching is all about, that it concerns molding children to be upright, to be responsible, and talk about the holistic aspects of it, which we have mentioned, then you are creating monsters. You are just taking your money, putting in your pocket, and then sometimes they even sell. I hear they buy certificates for children. They write the exams for the children and stuff like that. Which is very frustrating. But you see, what I am hoping that eventually the right pegs should be in the right holes. Put a round peg in a round hole. Don't get anybody to go into the teaching field, because they won't know. They have not studied any form of education. They don't know the psychology of education, don't know the psychology of children. They don't know what the children will need, especially as we are evolving. The world is getting faster and faster, growing more and more into technology. Will you stop at just training children to read and write and do or just grammar school subjects, or you introduce something more? Because it is challenging. Always put the children in front, put them ahead and say, these children, what will they be when they leave the school? Yes, they'll go to university. Will they cope in the university with the kind of education we've given them? Those are the things that I think a good educationist should be looking out for.
It's really great to see that you prioritize the children at all costs. What message would you give to parents who are currently choosing a school for their children?
It's true that some parents, they are ignorant because they've never been to school, but first of all, they should find out, because even the primary school teachers who have taught their children will tell them what to look out for. But what a parent should look out for is not just sending a child to school to go and pass. The child may not even pass the first school, but there are other values in the child that make the child stand out. So what I will advise parents, those who don't know should get advice from whatever school. If you go to any school and ask for advice, they will give you because they want to sell their school. But they should find out the outstanding schools in any city, any region, and go out and look at the track record of the school, how the school has been performing and all of that, and make sure that when their children leave the school, they will succeed in life. That's all I can say.
Okay. When people hear the name HOBEC today, what do you think about?
They tell me that HOBEC is a household name. That is, HOBEC has been so successful that many people, when they hear of HOBEC, they think of success, and we don't want to lose that renown, that reputation. So that is why we continue to work harder and harder to maintain or to always be ahead of other schools. We may not have the best structures in terms of building, but it's like we'll be knocking down the wooden building to start building something that reflects horizon. It has taken us time, but we wait for when we can do it to be able to do it, So people like HOBEC, and we want to give them the best. People like to come to HOBEC, and we want to give them the best.
Thank you very much. Ms. Terry, the last question I'll be asking you is, for a young entrepreneur pursuing the same dream as you of building an institution like HOBEC, what advice will you give them for a head start? Before
you go into any business, you must be passionate about it. You must know why you are going into it. It isn't just, you don't just wake up one morning and decide, oh, I want to be a mechanic, oh, I want to be a hairdresser, oh, I want to be a medical doctor. You must first of all have passion for what you are doing. That kind of passion which, pushes you on. No matter what you do, you continue to think about it. And you don't have to start with a lot of money, funds, or what have you. I told you how I started in a small bungalow in Accra, but with the zeal to correct the mistakes I found in the educational sector. So for any entrepreneur, you must And you must love what you want to do. You must, if you want to be a hairdresser, you must love making people beautiful, making women beautiful. If you want to be a seamstress, you must love making clothes which will bring out the beauty in anybody. Creativity. It's creativity, you know. So what I will say is, if you want to go into entrepreneurship, don't get scared about the resources. Don't get scared about funding or all of that. Just be passionate about it. Whatever little thing you have, start by breaking it up into bits and pieces. You can buy your machine today, you buy your thread tomorrow, you have money again, you buy, then you rent a place. That is how to break it up. And before you know what is happening, you have a sewing, what do you call it?
Mrs. Story Fungi, your story reminds us that great institutions are not built overnight. They are built through vision, perseverance, and a great commitment to shaping lives. From just 67 people in 1990 to thousands of people today, HOBEC now stands as a powerful example of what dedication to education can achieve. Thank you very much for sharing your inspiring journey with us.
Thank you, Eboa Favor. Thank you. It's been a pleasure talking with you, and as a student, the president of student government, I'm glad that you decided to get this story, and I hope you'll share it with your colleagues and other people who may want to get the story for inspiration.